Today, the Grumpy Old Bugger here, and welcome to the first video of my new channel. Let's start off with a crowd favorite, the fuckwad Joshua Feuerstein or Feuerstein. Many of you may have seen this video where it appears that he is calling on his fellow right-wing Christians to commit acts of domestic terror, namely calling for the hunting down and killing of Planned Parenthood doctors in an attempt to instill terror and fear to them, with the ultimate goal of shutting down Planned Parenthood and ending abortions. If you have not seen it, here's a short clip.
Planned Parenthood has hunted down millions and millions of little innocent babies, stuck a knife into the uterus, cut them, pulled them out, crushed their skull with forceps, ripped their body apart, sold their tissue, and threw them bleeding into a trash bin. I say tonight, we punish Planned Parenthood. I think it's time that abortion doctors should have to run and hide and be afraid for their life.
Well, it does sound pretty damning. This video actually surfaced just after Robert D. Jr.'s attack on the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood office on November 30th, 2015, generating fairly predictable reactions. One such example was Dusty Smith of the Cult of Dusty, who in a scathing response video called for the immediate arrest of Joshua.
So anybody that knows me knows that I'm all about free speech. Free speech is one of the most important things to me in this world. It's one of the few things I can think of that would actually probably die over. I take it very seriously. Free speech is my entire livelihood. But with that said, I am calling for the immediate arrest of Josh Feuerstein. Exactly like a Christian terrorist, he just called for hunting down and murdering his fellow Americans.
At the time, I felt Dusty's call for Joshua's arrest to be well in order, given the damning nature of Joshua's clip and recent events. In fact, I was so much in agreement with Dusty that I reposted his video to my personal Facebook page. The Cloud of Doom also posted a response video, and while not as scathing as Dusty's, it was equally damning. But in the comments section of the video, somebody asked the question, when was the original video uploaded? The Cloud of Doom stated he wasn't sure, as the original video had been removed, and the site that hosted it was down. Another commentator noted that Joshua referenced the backlash over the killing of Cecil the Lion by American dentist Walter Palmer, where people were now calling for him to be hunted down and killed, which meant the original video was most likely uploaded sometime just after July 1st, and had been removed before the events of November 30th. While this was going on, Joshua posted a response video, stating that his original video had been edited and his comments were taken out of context. He claimed that he had not called for the killing of Planned Parenthood doctors by Christians, and that any such actions, if they were to occur, would be against his pro-life stance, a stance that includes the protection of the lives of Planned Parenthood workers, as well as those of the unborn. He claimed what he was attempting to do was to point out the hypocrisy of those who decry the killing of a lion and the demands that the hunter face the same fate, but stay silent and do not seem to care about the so-called murders of babies by Planned Parenthood. Meanwhile, the Cloud of Doom, to his credit, did some digging around and found a complete copy of the original video. And yes, it had been edited in a way that may have changed the original context. The Cloud of Doom released a follow-up video showing where the changes were made and posted the complete original video so it can be compared to with the edited versions. Here's the edit. If you look closely at the image, you will see a jump cut between the two statements Josh makes.
To a trash bin. I say tonight, we punish Planned Parenthood.
If you weren't looking closer the first time, you would have missed it. And many of us did. I know I did. So, let's look at the same clip again, only this time with the missing sections back in place.
Into a trash bin. And you guys are crying about a lion, but what about the babies? You know what I call that? I call that being a hypocrite. I say tonight, we punish Planned Parenthood.
As we can see, a fair amount of content had been removed, and it does add a measure of credence to Joshua's claims that his statements were taken out of context. But let's look at the entire unedited original video to hear what he actually said and in which context he said it.
So let me get this right. Tonight America's crying about an old lion named Cecil that was killed by some dipwad who cut his head off and left his body there. But check this out. Planned Parenthood has hunted down millions and millions of little innocent babies, stuck a knife into the uterus, cut them, pulled them out, crushed their skull with forceps, ripped their body apart, sold their tissue, and threw them bleeding into a trash bin. And you guys are crying about a lion, but what about the babies? You know what I call that? I call that being a hypocrite. I say tonight, we punish Planned Parenthood. I think it's time that abortion doctors should have to run and hide and be afraid for their life instead of some hunter. Both are wrong. but one is a lion. The other are humans. Stand up for humans. God bless. If you agree with me, take a moment, click share on the side of the bottom of this video, like and comment below. If you're not my friend already on Facebook, click my name at the top of the video. Let's be friends. God bless. Have a very, very beautiful day.
Now the question is, was Josh merely trying to point out the hypocrisy of those in the U.S. who were calling for the death of Walter Palmer for killing a lion, and those who stay silent and allow the so-called murder of millions of babies in the U.S. by Planned Parenthood each year? Or was he actually trying to incite his 2 million plus followers to rise up and commit acts of brutal terrorism against their fellow Americans? Well, a case could be made either way. Personally, I suspect Joshua, who is not the sharpest arrow in the creationist quiver, did think he was being witty and was trying to point out the glaring hypocrisy on the part of the Christian right. Then, after posting the original video, he realized, or one of his followers pointed out to him, that he had just stepped on his own pecker and had basically called for jihad against Planned Parenthood. Realizing this and the potential repercussions, he took down his original video, hoping it would be forgotten. Unfortunately for him, the Colorado Springs attack happened, and his original video had been downloaded and saved. It had then been re-edited and re-uploaded by persons unknown, possibly in an attempt to implicate Joshua in the attack, or just to embarrass him. However, it should be noted that the attacker, Robert Deere Jr., has yet to implicate either Joshua or any other pastor or preacher from the religious right, so we cannot, in all honesty, blame Joshua for the attack. Now, I'm not too sure about U.S. law, but had Joshua posted his original video in my homeland of Canada, he would at least be facing charges under Canada's hate speech legislation. Had he posted it in the UK where I was born, I figure he'd be cooling his heels in a place like Wormwood Scrubs at Her Majesty's convenience. In the U.S., however, with the right judge and the right venue in the Bible Belt, I think he'd probably get away with what he said. But there is one thing he does need to remember. Although he is a complete idiot and a fucktard, he does have a large following. Over 2 million people, apparently. And he needs to keep that in mind when he posts to the net. Now, I'm sure that 99.99% of those 2 million followers, had they seen the original video before it was taken down, they would not have acted on it, even if they strongly agreed with the contents. But if only 0.1% took that message to heart as a call to arms and acted on it, that would have been 200 nutters running around looking to kill and terrorize Planned Parenthood staff. And had they done so, then the blame for their actions would have fallen squarely onto Joshua's shoulders, whether he meant to incite them or not. The same holds true for all of us, to be honest. When we post videos, we need to be mindful that we are not inadvertently advocating violence or illegal acts. For most of the rationalist, humanist side of the debate, this is generally not an issue. Unfortunately, that cannot be said for all. One last thing. Links to Dusty's and Cloud of Doom's videos can be found in the comments section. Please visit them. They have a lot more content and a lot better content than I have. Now piss off a lot of you. I need a nap.